Hi, I'm Julian Jackson, and I'm here with Miss Roseanne Montleone, and we're here to talk about the Adult Evening School, the ESL program, and the Adult Basic Learning program here at Norristown Area High School. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, can you tell me about the Norristown Adult Evening School?
Absolutely. The Norristown Adult Evening School is funded by a state and federal grant based on the Workforce Investment Act, which is also known as Adult Basic Education and Family Literacy. So we provide adult basic education, adult secondary education, and English as a second language, or the nickname is ESL classes. So we have learners that are wanting to take their GED but aren't quite ready yet, and so we have to do some more assistance with their reading and their math skills. And we have adults who range from just coming into the country less than a week to being here for 10 years. And we provide English classes to help them learn and master the English language, both orally and written.
How do the classes go?
Our classes are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night from 6 to 9. And for ESL classes, we have all different ranges. So we have beginning literacy ESL, and that would be for someone who can just say hello or goodbye. And they go all the way up to ESL 1, 2, 3, and 4 to students who have a really good grasp but maybe need assistance with writing English. But they can understand it, they can speak it, but don't quite know how to write it.
About how long does it take for a student who doesn't know the English language to master the English language?
Julian, I get asked that question once a week, if not more. That's a fabulous question. And it's very personal, it's very individual. We have adults that will take classes 4 nights a week. They're not required to. 2 nights a week is the minimum. But we'll have residents, they have to be Montgomery County residents. They'll take classes 4 nights a week, and they just dive into the English language, and they practice it all the time. So some of our learners grasp the English language very quickly. Within 3 or 4 months, they have a very good comfort level. And then we have other learners who take classes 2 nights a week, and they work at a little bit of a slower pace, and it might take them maybe a full year before they really can grasp the nuances of the English language, but it just depends on how hard they're willing to work on it. And the number one thing that we tell our students is you have to practice, practice, practice. It's very easy, as I'm sure it would be for us if we went to a different country, it's very easy to fall back in your native tongue. And so when our learners, who are, by the way, from 25 different countries, when they fall back into their language, we say, stop, you got to speak English. And we have a lot of fun with it. And so we really encourage them and create opportunities for them to speak English as much as possible. So if they're doing that and engaging it while in the classroom and outside of the classroom, they will accelerate their learning.
Now, what if a student was genuinely struggling with trying to get stay out of their native tongue and get the English language down? What other ways does the ESL program help get them?
Well, we have a lot of resources available for them. Besides the classroom itself, there are fantastic programs on the internet that we encourage our learners to use. We have access to a state-of-the-art computer center and library here at Norristown Area High School, so we take advantage of those resources. But we help our students to maneuver through the internet to see the different resources that are available so that when they go home, they can use those resources to keep practicing their English language skills. It really comes down to practicing. And the learners that practice more are picking it up and they're asking questions. So I guess the key is if you want it bad enough, you're going to practice and you're going to do well. So as long as you don't fall back into the pattern of your native tongue, you could probably pick it up relatively quickly, maybe 3 or 4 months, as long as you're engaging in it on a daily basis, as it would be for any language to learn. It just requires a lot of practice.
Now, initially, if a student, say, from France, were to inquire about information, how would they ask about it if they can't speak English?
That's a great question. Typically what happens, and as I said before, we have 25 different languages that are spoken. Typically what happens is when somebody comes into our program and they're not able to speak English, they usually have a family member come in with them, and we'll encourage that for that first initial interview process. But after that, we have a variety of techniques that we are trained in to communicate with them. And just like when you're teaching a young child how to learn the English vocabulary, you start out with pictures. So if I was trying to teach my 2-year-old how to say the word ball, I would have the ball, or I would show them a picture of the ball. So we have different software that we're able to communicate with them using a variety of pictures and things like that. So, and we also have some translators there. Typically, we can always find somebody in the program who speaks that language, and we can grab them out of the class. And that's the only time, that's the exception we make if we need help translating.
What else does the program provide for their students?
Besides the adult basic education, secondary education, we're getting our learners prepared to move into our GED preparation classes. We have the English as a second language, but we also provide through the Department of Education, through career pathways, we provide opportunities for them to learn about what careers are out there. And right now, having the ability to be bilingual and to be a translator is a fabulous, fabulous addition to your resume. So we talk about that as a viable option. But we also help our learners to know what careers are out there for them and how to access those. We do career placement, career readiness, help them with their resume, how to fill out a job application. We do a lot of interviewing practice. A lot of the skills that you would learn in 11th and 12th grade to get you ready to go into the workforce, we do those same skills within the adult evening school.
Now, it sounds like a really awesome program for someone to get into. So if someone was looking to get into the program, are there any requirements that they would have to heed to before getting in?
The main requirements are they have to be 18. The second requirement is they would have to be a resident of Montgomery County. And the third prerequisite is actually our policy within the program. It's not our policy is that they need to make a commitment and they need to be able to come 2 nights a week. And the reason why I say that is because we, operating under a state and federal grant, as much as we would love to serve everybody in the community, we only can successfully serve a certain number of students. So if you came into the program and you decided that you were going to come to class one day and then take 2 weeks off and come to class for one day and take 3 weeks off, you're taking up a seat that somebody who truly wants to make that commitment is not able to. So we tend to have waiting lists. So we try to explain to learners is that make sure that you can make the commitment to coming 2 nights a week. And if you can't, that's okay, because we'll have another term. Next year we'll be on 8-week terms or quarters. So if it's not the right timing, that's okay. Our learners are always welcome to come back, but it's really important for them to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be committed, and I'm ready to take the next step. And once they've made that mentally, then everything is easy after that.
Now, what happens if a student is admitted in the program, but when they're in the classes, they start to slack off and struggle, and they're not showing the commitment? Now, what happens, or what do you do with that student if they're like taking up space, quote unquote?
That typically doesn't happen. That's not to say it wouldn't, but typically our learners that come in are really very excited about being there. Some of them, their job is on the line. They have to take English classes or they have to prepare for the GED. So the motivation factor for an adult learner is very unique and very different, and we recognize that. I don't see too much learners slacking off. Now, they may have problems in their family life, not having babysitting for their children, not having transportation, just a variety of things that would be a barrier for them. So we have a counselor who will work with them to find out what can we do to support you. There are many services within Montgomery County, so we put them in touch with those services to make sure that we are removing all the barriers so that they can be persistent in their learning.
Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, I just want to thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. Our classes will start back in September. We're off for the summer, but they'll be starting back the second week in September. And for anybody who would like information, we have a website called norristownadulteve.com. You can also access our website through the Norristown Area School District main website under the Community tab. It'll say Adult Education, and we're also on Facebook, so we provide a lot of information on there, especially test dates for GED and if there's any changes to schedule. So those are the typical places that people will look first, and of course our phone number, which is 610-630-5066.
Okay.
So we always provide information on that. But again, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share this program, and we're very fortunate to have it.
Thanks for coming, and well, yeah, thanks. I'm Julian, and I just spoke with Miss Roseanne, and now back to the Eagle's Eye.